Say hello.
Hi!
All right, back to them later. For now, let's crack on with this forehand. In the last video, we saw the early preparation phase, starting with the body turn, the opposite hand staying on the racket, and the racket pointing upwards. If you didn't watch the last video, please go and watch that one first, because today we're going to carry on from where we left off. The setup phase for the forehand completes when the opposite hand releases from the racket and stretches outwards, and the racket moves further back. We'll have a look at this now with a pro example to see it really clearly.
Here, Tommy Robredo goes through the first part of preparation, and as we roll it on, we see his left arm release from the racket and stretch outwards, whilst the racket moves further back. Notice how the side of the racket that's going to hit the ball has turned away from the player and is facing backwards. This is a key feature in high-level players, designed to maximize efficiency and increase the power and spin on the shot.
Just like the backhand, the shape and position of the racket at the start of the forward swing is crucial for the swing's efficiency. The two main problems are that the racket goes back too far and ends up behind the body, or that the racket doesn't maintain its position of pointing at least slightly upwards. The forward swing then begins, and we see the racket flip back and drop down, which allows the arm and racket to then drive strongly towards the ball and through contact point before decelerating to a natural finish.
Let's now take a look at this with Albert Montañez. We can see the preparation phase complete, and then the racket bends back and drops down before the arm and racket drive strongly towards the ball through contact point before decelerating to a natural finish. Now let's look at a different style forehand with Juan Monaco, but with the same key elements. With preparation phase complete, we can now see the racket bend back and drop down before the arm and racket drive strongly towards the ball and through contact point.
Forehand styles really do vary widely amongst pro players, but they all contain the key fundamentals that we highlighted both in the last video and also today in this video. For this forehand to work like this, you need to have a relaxed hitting arm and also a loose grip on the racket. Roger Federer was once asked how tightly he grips the racket when he swings his ground strokes, and using a scale from 10 being the tightest grip to 0 being the loosest, he answered probably around 1, maybe up to 2 for contact with the ball. So, we've looked at the efficiency of the forehand swing, but what about that all-important 1-2 rhythm? It works just the same as the backhand. Part 1 is smooth and deliberate, that's the preparation phase, and the execution phase, part 2, more explosive and full of energy. The key to great 1-2 rhythm on the forehand is timing the release of the opposite hand so that the racket can then move continuously through the rest of the swing. The best way to see this is to see the players when they've got a bit of time before hitting the ball. They won't take the racket back in that time. Instead, they will maintain the opposite hand holding onto the racket so that when they do release that opposite hand, the racket can then move continuously through the rest of the swing. Let's now take a last look at the pro examples to see this really clearly.
Here we see Rafa Nadal serving. This is the first moment he recognizes he has a forehand to play, and so we see the early preparation phase. The ball coming is high and slow. As we roll it on, we see Nadal keeps his opposite hand on the racket whilst he sets up his positioning for the shot. Just before the ball bounces, Nadal releases his opposite hand, allowing the racket to finish the backswing and complete the forward swing in one continuous movement. So now, let's make clear everything that we've covered in the last video on the forehand and also this video. Now watch the next forehand in real time and notice the 1-2 rhythm. Part 1, smooth and deliberate. Part 2, explosive and full of energy.
Alright, so back to our under-9 squad who we're going to watch hitting their forehands now. They play on a smaller court with softer orange balls. The squad has only been going for about 6 months, so there's still plenty of work to be done, but already there are clear signs that they are developing good, efficient forehand swings with great 1-2 rhythm. Alright, so that's it for this 2-part mini-series on forehand technique. We haven't talked too much about the role of the body and the feet when setting up and hitting the ground strokes. This is also crucial and we will come back to this later in the year. I've got a nice surprise for you on the next video. I'm going to be back in Brazil looking at the one-handed backhand on one of the most scenic tennis courts that I've ever played on. You certainly won't want to miss it. By the way, I'm not actually going back to Brazil again. I shot all the footage when I was there last time. Yeah, it's a long way, so I'm not going again or anything. No. So you guys are going to be on the internet soon. What do you think about that?
Yeah!